Welcome to the court. This is Acker at basketball.
Court is in session. Season 3, Episode 4. I'm Curtis D. Acker.
I'm Mark Acker.
All right, let's start off. We're going to do some freshmen this week as well. Some incoming freshmen, not just solely transfers. We're going to do a team-by-team breakdown, starting with Lipscomb. So, for Lipscomb, we're going to start with Ethan Duncan. He's a redshirt junior guard, started in all 62 games he played in 2 seasons at Lubbock Christian University. That's Division II. Duncan's 2024-25 season included making 46% of his field goals, 40.9 behind the arc. This led him to scoring almost 16 points per game, Lone Star Conference Player of the Year, NABC Division II All-American status. It was fantastic watching this guy, Dad. Ethan Duncan, absolute buzzer of a scorer. He can score every single way. Screens, spot-ups, ISOs, cuts, doesn't matter. I thought in his highlights what was most showed off was his screen work, whether it was on ball or off ball. But then when I got into more of the game action, I kind of saw more spot-up action from him. And one thing that I saw that I was really excited about when seeing this guy is that when he doesn't have the ball, he's always got a hand up in the air calling for it. It means that he's hungry for the ball. So that to me shows that this guy is absolutely going to be a dominant scorer here at the next level. How about you?
Yeah, no, I agree. Absolutely. I mean, and on his game film, he played 30 plus minutes a game constantly. That reminds anybody of somebody at Lipscomb players at Lipscomb last year for sure. I could see him doing that again. Handled the ball great, 1.2 assist to turnover ratio. So he was solid there. 1 steal a game. He kind of did it all as well, aside from even the scoring aspect, which, like you said, you just described it very well. He can cover kind of all the facets. I thought he was a take what you give me type of scorer as well, is one phrase I had for him.
Right.
Yeah,
He's able to just utilize what that's just the type of scorer he is, where it's like, okay, you left me open here this time, okay, I'll score there this time.
Exactly, that's right. Yeah, that's what I saw in him to sum it up in a nutshell there for sure. So, all right, well, let's move on to now a freshman entering also at the Lipscomb program. His name is Kennedy Okpara, 6'7", as I mentioned, freshman forward. He's from Chattanooga, Tennessee. Attended the Wilson Academy last season. Prior to that, 3 seasons at Silverdale Academy in Chattanooga. He was named the 2024 Division IIA, the Basketball Coaches Association of Tennessee state team for his efforts in school. Here's a player for me that active, athletic. He liked to trail on coming up court. He liked to trail and pop a 3 as the play developed. He was really good at that. He's not shy for a 6'7" guy to pop him from outside. With the ball, he'll pull up as well. He'll drive in, pull up, or if he's double teamed, or he also certainly not afraid to take it to the rim as well. One thing I saw in his film and it's maybe a scenario that it's because of who he was playing against. He didn't play much physicality-wise. A couple times I saw him being bodied up, and he spun right out and dunked it on him. So he can do it, but just wasn't a whole lot of action on the highlight package that I was able to, the packages I found showing him being bodied up. So it'll be a good thing for him, challenge for him to see how he can handle that at this Division I college level for sure.
Right, that is one challenge when you have to attain information about these young men so quickly, is that you are a little bit limited in what you can find as far as game film goes. But from what you said, as far as liking to trail and spot up the 3, he likes that right wing 3 for that spot, but he can do it from any other place on the court. I saw him do it from every single other place. It was just most common, I thought, in that right wing 3 spot. Active hands on defense. Occasionally it got him into trouble in the film that I saw, but it also allowed him to disrupt some plays as well, and I thought he ate up on the offensive boards. So it could have been, as you were kind of talking about in his post-up game, maybe just more a lack of competition, but I didn't really see it that way. I saw it more as him just out-dominating his competition, at least when it came to an offensive board perspective.
For sure. It's just an incomplete when I think about projecting it into the college level. But again, there's a 6'7", lanky, athletic, one of those matchup guys. In theory, I think he could play some solid defense or present some difficult matchups for a tough offensive player that they may be playing against as well.
Yeah, and they added another freshman this week. That would be Luke Jack. He's the Cherokee County, boys basketball player of the year. Broke career and single game scoring records for Creekview High School, and he also ended up playing for Stewart South in Canton, Georgia. He's a 6'6" combo guard. That's pretty rare here in the ASUN. This guy loves the spin move I saw. Has the ability to stop, spin on a dime, create a play, not just for a pass, but also to create a better layup for himself as well. One thing I saw in an interview is that he said he takes pride in his effort on defense. He also joked around. He said, also, guys are pretty quick. But he definitely said that he takes pride in that defensive effort, which is huge for me, especially coming from someone who's a freshman, that a lot of times freshmen don't really understand that right out of the gate. So for him to understand that right away is fantastic here for Lipscomb. Ability to make downhill passes in both transition and the half court, crisp and floating passes. It doesn't matter either or. Luke Jack was impressive to me. My only worry for him is at 6'6", he might get kind of forced out of position, which we've talked about for a few weeks now with maybe guys like George Washington as well. We talked about last week, kind of got forced out of position due to his competition or just the makeup of the roster. I'm worried that might happen here to him, at least at the start of his career for Lipscomb here. But they're added 3 now really good quote-unquote point guards in the 2 we highlighted today, and Esmeraldo as well. I think he's going to be more the inside and defensive and playmaking point guard. There's 3 strong guys now for that team.
Right. One thing I with Luke Jack, a couple things I wanted to highlight as well. I like that he could drive and dish. He was an unselfish player offensively too, at the high school level, where he was physically more dominant than his opponents. He could finish left or right as he was driving. I really even finished with his left hand, shot-wise, not just off his left foot or moving left. He could do that, but man, for me, watching his highlight package, he could shake and bake. That guy could bake with his hair. I love that.
A little Ricky Bobby action out there.
Ricky Bobby, maybe not Ricky Bobby from a terminology. No, he has a lot of moves, a lot of shoulders, a lot of elbows, flying everything at you, but he's under control as he's doing that. So really enjoyed watching his highlight package and looking forward to see what he can do, going up into college here. So that was awesome.
Right. Well, that wraps up Lipscomb. Dad, start off our next team.
Yeah, we're going to go to Florida Gulf Coast and look coming in just as a freshman. The only action this week, Chase Konieczny. Maybe you've heard that last name before. Chase is a 6'4" guard. This past season in high school in South Bend, Indiana, St. Joseph's carried his team to the state championship this year for victory. After failing last year, they also went to the state championship but lost. The highlight for him in that championship game was a putback dunk in the last 52 seconds, I believe it was. Just showed his IQ and his ability to just stay focused in a very crunch time. Top notch there. Set a school career points record, 2,138 points, ranking him number 44 all time in Indiana history. And again, as I mentioned, the last name there, he's the younger brother of J.R. Konieczny, who also just joined Florida Gulf Coast, has transferred in from Notre Dame. What I see from Chase, he's a 94-foot player. He'll score. He'll sprint right up to the line and play defense right off the bat. Pat Chambers called him relentless. It's one of the terms he used, and his ability to do whatever he wants, whatever has to be done to make to help the team win. That's what he brings to the table. That's what I saw anyways. What do you got?
I think you sum it up fairly well. I think one thing that you didn't mention that I want to mention is he's almost identical to his brother JR that they just got last week. Like, just as far as game style and the game action I was watching of him, I was like, oh my gosh, they're going to have 2 of these guys? They're going to have 2 of these. They're more than just glue guys, right? They're kind of like that Tay Fields was last year for UNA, where does everything a glue guy does and then adds even an extra layer of scoring on top of that. And to have two guys like that now at FGCU, it's fantastic for Pat Chambers. And
yeah, I love the motor he has too. It just goes. So question, Curtis, you care to guess how many times there's been a college team that's carried not one but two sets of brothers at the same time? Any ideas? Did you look that up at all?
Let's see. No. I do not have that stat. I'm aware of Colton and Michael Griffin from West Georgia, but I'm not aware of any other pairs of brothers out there. Are there any that you can recall?
Well, yeah, there's actually been not two pairs of brothers at the same time. There's been three brothers, the Plumlees on Duke at one point, although one I think was a red shirt a few years back. There's been some other brother pairs, but no, Florida Gulf Coast has not only the Konieczny brothers, but also BB and recent transfer and George Washington III. So two pairs of brothers on the same squad. It's just kind of a neat stat. It'll be fun to watch them gel together as well and see where that brings, for the team in that sense. So exciting times for the Eagles for sure.
Yes. That's the only signing for the FGCU Eagles this week, and we can confirm, yes, that is a signing, not just a commit. The next team that we're going to talk about is the UCA Bears. So they ended up getting Malchiah Marable. He's a 6'9" power forward with an outstanding scoring touch. He's a strong physical player who can bang inside and battles for space and the ball. Marable spent last season at Hargrave Military Academy, where he averaged 11 points and 10 rebounds. Prior to that, he played 2 seasons at Merritt High School in Washington, D.C. And this guy, Dad, toughness, court awareness. It's fantastic. He's inside-out ability. Stretching the floor is a plus with him. Should thrive in a screen and roll game as well. There are some concerns I have with him going to UCA. We'll get into that in a second. Just talk a little bit more about what you saw from Marable here.
Yeah, but the toughness was the biggest thing for me. He's going to be a strong, physical, big body inside, and by big I don't mean just strong, like a strong presence in there. So toughness comes to mind. The one area I think he's going to, again, that we talked about earlier is his ability to adapt to the speed and the speed of the college game. Really, he looked a little heavy-footed. Just the phrase I came up with there, watching some of his action. So how is that going to translate over again as you face higher competition? But no, I think that big body will be interesting to see how that adds an element to UCA's game.
See, I actually didn't see the heavy-footedness that you saw. I thought he was more of a non-traditional big, and had quicker feet, had the ability to make plays outside and in. My only concern with him really is that he is going now here under Coach Schulin, and he has been on record stating that he loves point guards. If he could play 4 point guards, he would play them. So that means big men minutes are limited in his type of offense. We've also seen that happen before, not only in college, but also just last year in the ASUN with Coach Gibson and the Austin Peay Governors. Of course, also part of that was injury reasons as well. But plus side for him when it comes to that, Nehemiah Turner going to Minnesota. Gloria Tim, he's at Southeastern Louisiana now. So he's really the only guy on the roster currently that fits at least a big man role. Newcomers Parker Applegate and Chris Mason aren't really bigs. They're more traditional forwards / wing players. So he's definitely got the plus side of lack of competition currently, at least for the Bears roster.
Yep, exactly. No, that makes sense for sure. He seemed comfortable in that role as he played in high school, though, the inside game a lot. But he did pop out, no doubt. I think if you get an opportunity for playing time, for me, I'd take it for sure. But obviously, we're not in that role. So.
Right. There was another big that committed to Stetson. Who was that, Dad?
Yeah, Stetson added 6'11" Polish national Janusz Ratowski. Janusz spent last season at Texas A&M. He actually got redshirted, didn't play in any games last season. What I saw out of him was a big, agile man. He can hit threes. He's able to body up inside. So a lot of versatility from that perspective. Can run the floor, can finish running on the floor. It is, and 2 years ago, when his last action I saw, 2023-24 in the Polish league, averaged 9.6 points, 9.4 rebounds per game. So I see a guy that can actually do it, add that height in the ASUN conference that there's not a lot of active big athletic forwards. To me, I could see a role for Janusz here carving out for Stetson and get some good playing time from that perspective.
Right. He's kind of a complete unknown for me just because there wasn't much available online for me to watch of him because all his playing time was overseas. But one thing I did see was he made a great hustle play on both ends of the floor that was actually on his Instagram page. So we've got a posting about him, and he's linked in the Instagram posting. So go ahead and go find that, and you can find his Instagram, and you can see the play where he actually ends up, coming out challenging on the left wing, a 3-point shot. He, gets enough of a disruption to the point where the shot's missed. He actually clears, goes into the bench. No one notices him. He makes a 200 IQ play, runs back into the court, calls his hand up in transition, ends up getting an easy bucket. So that showed some great basketball IQ out of him. And I'm hoping he's able to continue to bring more of that now as he transitions to NCAA basketball.
Right. Again, I like his agility. I think is a good word that I thought about. His style of play. He's not afraid to get it all over the floor, quick, kind of a quick big man as well. Not really, So bringing that element to it. So
especially for a 6'11" guy.
Yes, exactly. That's right. Yep.
And to wrap us up, we'll talk a little bit about West Georgia. So they ended up getting Josh Smith. He's a 6'4" senior guard. Played the past 2 seasons in the MEAC with North Carolina Central. Popped off 21 points in 23 minutes of action versus Gardner-Webb. He also had 11 points against Kansas in their 2023-24 season opener. Played 32 games over the past 2 seasons. Averaged 6.6 points per game in just over 11 minutes per contest. So he can really light it up very quickly. 42% almost from 3. Then there is just a little bit of limitation, Dad, that we saw or couldn't see because we didn't get to really see much game action from him this year. He only played 5 games. Not really sure, as we talked about, there was a 21-point performance versus Gardner-Webb. And in the game film that we were able to see from last year of him, he's a speedster. He thrives with the ball. He did something that I didn't really see many people do so far out of all these other prospects that I've seen, and that's he just comes in, looks like he's going to stop and pop at the 3. Instead, he just gives a quick lob or a quick really dart pass inside and ends up hitting the big man for a pretty easy bucket. So that was really impressive from what I saw from him. What did you see out of his game?
Yeah, open floor, fantastic. Another shake and bake maybe is probably not quite the same phrase or usage here, but very creative on the open floor action for sure with the ball. Again, as you mentioned, either for his own shot, creating or finding somebody cutting to the basket. Real dynamic there. We didn't see a whole lot of other action. As you mentioned, he didn't see a whole lot of game time. So, what his full end-to-end, two-way action looks like. We don't know a lot about that part of it, but certainly if you're looking for offense, I think he's going to be a good source of that for the Wolves here coming up this season.
Yes, microwave scorer for the Wolves.
Yeah, maybe a limited action kind of scenario, right? Maybe a 6-7 man kind of thing coming off the bench, filling in. Hopefully get a starting spot. But do you think, again, we'll see if he's playing off guard, or I think he'd be in more of an off guard scenario where he can create.
Yes, for someone of his caliber, it seems like he'd more fit into the off-ball category. He thrives, though, with the ball in his hand. Like, that's how he affects the game the best. So it's always a challenge with a guy like that, figuring out where they're better fit to play. But if he's got, I think from what I saw, he's got the playmaking abilities to play point guard. So actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I think I just talked myself out of your argument. I think he's a scoring point guard, and I expect him to be that for West Georgia. I think that's what they should focus on turning him into if he's not already that in their minds.
Right, and I'm thinking more of an off guard where he can have point guard take the ball handling pressure off and let him just be the scorer, be the scoring creator kind of guy. That's a different way to look at it as well. Or that's
right. My only concern with that is when a guy's limited, as far as like limited in how they can affect the game, at least in what we've seen out of him so far. Obviously, we don't know the whole picture. But from what we've seen, it seems like it's necessary for him to have the ball in order to affect the game properly in a significant way. And when they have a scoring guard, I mean, that's your two guard. You know what I mean? Like the one guard's usually carrying the ball down, so they're touching the ball every single play. I think you'd want to maximize his touches.
I think we need to get back to coaching. Let's do that. We seem to know it all, don't we?
No, but we definitely have ideas, and we can bounce them off each other and see what works. And that's the beauty of coaching. But that's going to yes, exactly. That's going to wrap up all of our players that we're going over for this week, though. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you think. Make sure to share this with someone that you think might find it interesting. And, of course, we thank you for checking it out. Be sure to come back week by week for weekly updates on everything that's going on in the ASUN, from coaching changes, transfers, commitments, maybe even something new that you never thought that you would see. We might have it. So, on behalf of Acker Basketball, I want to thank you. God bless.